Hello, and welcome to my basement, where I have something that I need to feed. Something that stays in this little room. Something that if I don't feed it will die. It's very important. And you know what? A lot of people have this in their house. They don't do it and it dies and it causes big problems. And it's pretty simple. You feed it salt. Well, what is it? It's a water softener. Well, what's a water softener, most people say? Well, I installed, sold, repaired water softeners for 12 years, and all the way from little residential ones to ones taking up gigantic rooms at, say, Lambeau Field. So I will tell you, I'll tell you some of the main questions I've been asked and answers, some of the basic stuff that will clear it up for you. So I'm going to tell you what soft water is, how a softener operates, all those noises you hear, and lastly, just how to set it so it will work, continue to work. So first off, soft water is, it's the opposite of hard water. See, this is actually a pressure tank from my well that has hardness in it, which is consistent of calcium, lime, rust, manganese, many other things, but those are the main ones. Soft water is, in the softener, when the water runs through it, it will remove those through something called ionic exchange. Softener has a whole bunch of these little BBs in there that are negatively charged, and as the water runs by it, the hardness attached to those beads, and it comes out soft. So that's soft water. Well, going back to the actual operation of a softener, now that you know what soft water is, how does it, what are the steps? What are those noises? Well, here's the softener right here. As you can see, it's got an inlet pipe, outlet pipe, and actually here's a drain. Here's a tank. This has resin in there, and they usually have a salt tank that's external. There's salt in there, water softener salt. How softener works is first it runs water in reverse down the drain, and when it runs it in reverse through the unit, it washes out any like flakes or light sand or silt to kind of clean it out. It does that for about 10 minutes. You'll hear that. Second is draw. I'll show you this. This is the softener's salt tank right here. It has water on the bottom, so it has brine mixture. This tube right here, the softener creates a draw, and it'll draw in that really, really salty water, run through the filter, and as it does that, it knocks off all that hardness, calcium, lime, rust, and it runs it down the drain. That process actually takes about an hour. After that is completed, there is a fast rinse, which runs water through the filter in the normal direction down the drain, then down the drain. They kind of compact all that resin in there and get rid of any residual sodium that could be left in there. Then it very last usually fills. It puts water, through that tube I showed you into the brine tank, so it dissolves salt for the next cycle. Every gallon of water will actually dissolve 3 pounds of salt. So if the unit calls for 9 pounds per cycle, it'll put 3 gallons of water in. And the math can go all the way up to, hey, this needs 300 gallons, so we put X amount of water. It's kind of neat how it works. So you always have to keep salt in there. That's what it eats. Lastly, how do you set them to run? Well, two really main things. There's a clock on here, and here's up and down, set clock. You can change the hours, minutes. You actually want to set that to be at current time of day. Then the softener runs usually at 2 a.m. when you're not using water. Second main thing here is just to keep the salt in, as I mentioned before, and always above the water level, because salt water is heavy, and if it's not above the water, you're not going to get the right amount of salt. That's really basically it. So I explained to you what soft water is, how a softener works, and how to maintain it. So go home, everyone, and feed those water softeners so they don't die on you. It's very important. Good day.